My husband broke up with me when I just did this over. Now it's worse. After 3 months of us dating, and I'm going to tell you quickly the story. One, it was heart wrenching, crushing, but he did it. So anyway, he had told me he loved me, which is like, right, that's like a big deal. And then we went hiking, like a couple days later down this gorge, like beautiful gorge with like waterfall. It was just absolutely amazing. And you can imagine the amount of leaves that were on the forest floor. So we found this bench and we sat down, and he started talking about how scared he was or is about being in a relationship. And I'm like, oh gosh, here we go again. Here we go. Here we go. I've heard this song and dance. I was over it. And I knew he was going to break up with me. So he started talking about how freaked out he was. I'm not ready for commitment, blah, 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 blah. And like at that point, I was just wanted to get married and have kids to the right person, but I wasn't interested in, anyway, you get what I'm saying. So he's telling me the story, and then, or not even a story, telling me how he feels. And then he looks down on the ground and picks up this leaf. And on this leaf is the word love written in pencil. Love. Out of all the bajillion, gazillion leaves on the forest floor, he picked up a leaf with the word love on it. You can't write that. Like you can't make it up. Right. So we were just like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, it's a sign. We're supposed to be together. I mean, I don't, if there was ever a sign, that it couldn't have been a more clear sign. So we left the leaf there. I do regret that to this day. We're like, maybe we should leave it to someone else who needs to have this message of love. So we left it there. He still broke up with me about 3 days later, 2 or 3 days later. I was like, after the leaf, like the magical leaf on the forest floor, you're going to break up with me. And we were broken up for about 4 months. I was crushed. I'm not a depressed person. I had a lot of things happen when I was younger. I mean, terrible, terrible things. And I definitely was sad and I definitely processed them, but I was never one to lay in bed. That's not my thing. I have no desire to just um, sleep the day away feeling depressed. Like I wasn't interested in that. It made me feel worse. So, but when he broke up with me, I spent 2 days in bed, didn't go to work. My roommate fed me pancakes. I was crushed. Took him 4 months to come back to me. And now we've been married 17 years. So together 20 years. So you never know, ladies, gentlemen, if you're out there dating and someone you loved broke up with you or something happened, you never know what the outcome was going to be. And I just, after like 3 months, I gave up on him. I was like, okay, I'm going to go start dating again. Okay, so the cool part of this story, I mean, it's really cool. The whole thing's cool. But the cool part of it is, how did that leaf get there? How the fuck, excuse my language, did that leaf get there at the right time, at the right place to give us this message? And so when I did a journey about it, when I looked at it and looked to ask my guides, what the heck was that about? They said to me, you put it there. You put it there. And I was like, what do you mean? You put it there. You set this up. And this is what they were talking about. They were talking. So I was like, so I manipulated the situation. No, but you brought that. I wasn't manipulating it, but there was a part of me that put that leaf there. And what they were talking about was timelines. Timelines. That we have different timelines. I can go out tomorrow and create a new timeline. I can create a new timeline today and say, you know what, I'm not into this timeline of living in this house anymore, or I'm not in this, which I do, cancel clear. I love my house. Love my house. I'm staying. Woo. But I could say, I don't want to do X, Y, and Z anymore and create a brand new timeline. Or I could say, I don't want to marry my husband anymore and create a new timeline with someone else. You get where I'm going. And I love my husband and I don't want that to be created either. Um, Timelines are like these different things, moments in time where we create things. Right now, on the global scale, we're on the specific timeline. The United States is on a timeline right now, and they're saying that the timeline that we're on right now is going to rapidly shift. If we stopped engaging with all the bullshit, like people are the outrage porn, and I get there are things going on. I 100% get it. I understand it, but we're feeding the system by constantly being outraged and connected to the media. We could create another outcome, another timeline by every single one of us disengaging, going back to nature and engaging with each other and loving each other. That the timeline would shift and the powers that be would have no more power because we wouldn't be giving them any power. So I just got off on a rant. I just get so like, why are people feeding this system so much with your own energy? But we can create timelines. And what I had done was in another timeline, I had planted the leaf there. I knew it was coming. So time is elusive. Time is not linear. We have, different parts of ourselves in different areas, different, living different lives on other planets, other timelines. So the guide said, you put it there. And I was like, wow, that is so cool. So if we have I didn't do it consciously, obviously. So if we have the ability to plant leaves in things like I did, or the ability to shift timelines, what is stopping us from creating the timeline that we love and want? If you're having, challenges with money, what's stopping you from creating a new timeline with money? One of wealth and abundance. If you are in wealth and abundance and you're like, you know what, I want to experience something else, maybe you create a new timeline. What's stopping us? What's stopping us is we over freaking think everything. It's like we are multi-dimensional. Our brains and our egos are what keep us from doing that. Okay, my daughter came home, so I had to pause it. She got me a drink. I'm not going to tell you what I'm drinking. I'm afraid she'll judge me. It's not alcohol or anything like that. It's a terrible energy drink. It's like, I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, so we can create timelines. And what's stopping us? Again, what's stopping us is our ego. What's stopping us is our analytical mind. What's stopping us is really believing that we can create what we want. What's stopping us from changing the world? We give too much power to the powers that be. If we all stopped paying attention, it would go away. It would go away. We could create our own government. We could create our own thing. It would go away. So we have the ability to do all of this. So I want you to think about and play with it. Like, what is something that in your life where you want to create a new timeline with? Something you want to create that's new, maybe a new timeline, a new business, moving somewhere else, a new boyfriend, new girlfriend, more money, less money, I don't know. What is it that you want to create? What's the timeline you want to create? And how do you start shifting into it? Intention. And also know that, I teach the journey. The biggest thing that holds people back from the journey is thinking that they can't do it. You think you can't do something, guess what? You're not going to be able to do it. You think you can't do something, you're not going to be able to do it. And the journey work and all this stuff is, this metaphysical, multidimensional, spiritual, it's not a cookie cutter thing. It's not. So think about the timeline you want to create. And I like to say that planting that leaf, maybe that's one of the reasons he came back to me. I think we were destined to be together in this lifetime for sure. But I just like to play with it. And it's really fun to think about the fact that I planted the leaf there. So new timelines. And what's a timeline we all want to create in the world, in your state, in your country? I know what kind of timeline I want to create. I'll do a whole other video on timelines because there's some interesting things happening with the world and our relationships to timelines that things are going to start to shift rapidly. If you haven't noticed how fast time is going, it's going so fast, like real time, right? It's going really fast. So as it's going fast, we get to create more timelines where we can have whatever it is that we're wanting to create. All right, my name is Beth Osmer, and I will see you on the next video.